Ric Beardsley.
Rick, what's going on?
Fellas, how are you today? Thanks for having me on. Really excited. It's playoff time for the SU men's team, and I'm listening and I'm coming into the one and only Brandy. Baby, 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 baby.
All right, please don't do that again.
Yeah, please don't do that again.
First of all, what are you trying to say? Because of the 12 polyps on my throat that I can't sing anymore from all the yelling I've done in life?
We're driving into our second hour, brought to you by Burdick BMW of Cicero and Burdick Toyota. And, before we get into this North Carolina game, let's just quickly get your thoughts on the win over Yale. The decision to stick with Jimmy Mcool in particular, Rick, he was not good in the first half. He was phenomenal after halftime, and we saw Gary Gait a little bit earlier in the year in that first meeting, in fact, against North Carolina, decided to pull him. I guess let's start there with the decision to leave Jimmy Mcool in, and then that second half performance really on both ends of the field.
I mean, Jimmy Mcool is one hell of a goalie. And sometimes guys just start off, but some guy, a little bit slow, but some guys are just playoff guys. They step up in big games. And, the coaching staff felt that what they saw wasn't as much as Jimmy McCool's fault as it might have been the defense giving shots on top of him. He made some adjustments at halftime to where, they were shooting, Yale was shooting low on him. And then was starting to get down to those low shots. And then those guys didn't adjust to shooting to, low to high. But any way you say it, the tale of two halves for Jimmy Mcool, and it worked out great for the guy, and good going for the young man from Syracuse. Love it.
How unusual is that, Rick, to play? I mean, for a goalie to look like that in the first half, and then to really go do a 180 in the second half. And I mean, he was the difference in the game. 12 saves after halftime, made a couple of stops there in that
big
final
huge stop
sequence
at the end. I mean, huge stop.
How unusual is that for a goalie?
I mean, typically goalies are very tempered, I might say, and different. I mean, my college goalie, Chris Saran, he's now an attorney, lives in Texas. He went to church every day. That's just not right. Whether you like God or not, you don't go to church every day, right? And, and people would say whatever, but like the guy went out like an animal. Like, it's just the way it worked. And then Alex Rozier, he ended up being a prison guard at Rikers Island. He was definitely not right in the head either. So college goalies at that level are a little bit different, a little bit quirky, but they also are a little bit resilient and makes them tough. And how weird is that? I've seen it happen. I've seen guys where they get pulled and it lights a fire under them. And the coaching staff knows Jimmy Mcool better than we do. So maybe at halftime they said something to him and he assured them and made them feel comfortable. Or, I've seen guys get pulled and then get put right back in. It just depends on the goalie, the situation in the game, obviously. But I think big stops at the end. I took a phone call from earlier today. My daughter Angela, I scooted back to Syracuse for the day, and my daughter Angela popped in and said hello to me. And while I was there, Andy Shea from Yale called me, and we chatted about the game. And it was amazing. Like I'd said to him, that shot was the right shot. Your guy took at the end. He's like, absolutely it was. Not many people see that. But boy, did Jimmy Mcool, he said, boy, did Jimmy Mcool make a hell of a save. And like I said, the specialists in the playoffs are what gets you deep. A great goalie can do a lot of things for a defense that's struggling. And Syracuse's defense, quite frankly, it struggled a little bit in that game.
And along those lines, Rick, we had Paul Carcaterra on earlier in the week, and he talked about his concern with SU's short stick defensive midfielders and just, a lot of those long ISO dodges that Yale was able to put on the midfielders. How concerned are you by that unit?
Well, Yale beat Syracuse up a majority of the day, dodging from the midfield with their team speed. I mean, they had an incredible amount of team speed, and Syracuse is not at a loss for having great athletes. The thing that I would say would maybe throw up a red flag or is an alarm going in, last year, this same game, I think, was 18-17, correct, when we played Princeton. We won 80% of the faceoffs in the second half, shot like 80%. and then gave up a ton of goals. So you got to clean that up, right? You can't go into this game and expect the same thing to happen. North Carolina is a very formidable foe. They have arguably the best face-off guy in the country in Grady Wambach, who's down the street from Rochester, New York. I'm looking forward to Jimmy Mcool and him in that chess match and that physical battle. But again, Syracuse just needs to clean up on the defensive end, which I'm sure they will. John Adurna is a very good defensive coach, and those kids are very good players, and I think they'll figure it out. But by the way, it's really hard to beat a team 3 times. I'm going to be frank. It happens, but it's really hard, because the third time at UNC, what do you need to change? Do you change anything at all? Or do you? I feel like we've been in this situation before, guys. I think I've had this conversation with you in past years of Syracuse trying to beat a team for a third time, or playing them for a third time. I just think, what can Syracuse do differently in that game, especially if Owen Duffy is not available to go for UNC.
Well, along those lines, too, and it's interesting because, getting back to our conversation with Kark, he said he thinks that North Carolina might be more difficult to defend if Owen Duffy doesn't play, meaning he doesn't think he's going to be 100%.
Yes, he'll have more balance.
We want to get your thoughts on that as well.
Yes,
talk to us about the Owen Duffy situation.
Yeah, my old teammate Paul Kark's about one of the best there is to do this, right? He looks at things from not only an analyst perspective but from a player's perspective, and he's still very in touch with the game as much as of our, because he still does coach a lot in the off season. Owen Duffy, playing or not playing, you're right, it creates offensive balance. Then other guys step up, hence Dom Petramala for 10 goals. Dom Petramala has been a Syracuse killer since his father left, right? He has been a Syracuse killer. But North Carolina's balance could hurt Syracuse. It becomes a multifaceted offense going at a defense in different spots. And that can cause a lot of nightmares, especially when defending, in a slide package, or, your basic principles of where you want to put guys defensively. So, he is right. The rope unit, as I've always said for years, you go as far as your defensive midfield unit will take you. That is one of the most important things come playoff time. It's well more important to control the middle of the field defensively than it is offensively in these big games. And I think Syracuse has to, still has to try and win the middle of the field. If we win the middle of the field, we win this game. If we don't win the middle of the field, meaning rides, clears, ground balls, face-offs, defensive ground balls, we will not be successful in this endeavor getting to a Final Four with a team that, by the way, has been hyped since day one to get back to that.
John Adurna, in the second meeting against North Carolina, put some zone on the Tar Heels, and it really worked, especially in the first half of that game. What adjustments do you think we will see defensively? Do you think we will see some zone in this game on Saturday?
Well, I'm a D guy, obviously, and I'm coaching at a pretty decent level. D1 defense, D1 zones are, especially if they don't press the ball behind, are pretty difficult to beat because of the goalie strength. But you have to find the percentages of where guys shoot from, the chinks in the armor of their offense on who you want to have shoot, where you want to press the ball or put the ball. A lot of that goes in, those analytics go into it. But without Owen Duffy, going at them with a zone might be a little bit more difficult because Owen Duffy is the distributor of that, right? So you can focus on a distributor, right? You can't focus on 6 guys who are unselfish to move the ball. And if that ball moves against the zone, it will be a problem. But if you're coming into that game and you are John Adurna, he's going to come up with a great game plan. He's going to let the matchup sort it out where they sort out. But it's going to be pretty difficult to come in and out of a zone, especially when, most ACC coaches' egos get in the way. They don't want to play a zone. It's about their guy versus their guy. And that's what it's always been in lacrosse. Guys, Coach Simmons had an immense ego like that. It was my guy's better than your guy. There were times that when I was a freshman, he'd put me up against the other team's freshmen just to prove a point, right? My freshman's better than yours, even if it sacrificed a matchup. But those guys will be ready. The staff will be ready. But the defensive game plan, he's got to have something, maybe a shutoff, maybe something, denying one away. I always thought that denying one away and slowing down the way a ball moves off a dodge in college lacrosse was always a great idea, because most offenses are designed to do things after they draw a slide. If you can shut the next pass or the second pass off that throws a chink in the reversal ball armor, we call. So I think, if Syracuse can come out and junk it up, maybe they don't have to junk it up, but if you've lost twice to them, maybe you got to think about doing something different than you did in the first two games. So I would assume, looking at the first two games, they'll do something different.
Last one on Syracuse UNC, and I want to get a couple big picture items with you. Do you think that Syracuse is going to win this game? Because you said a moment ago that it's tough to beat a team 3 times in 1 year. We know about this senior class and it's championship or bust and all of that. Do you take your heart out of it here for a second?
Come on, guys! You're going to get me killed in this community.
Do you think SU wins this game?
I do by a goal.
Okay.
Like I said, it's really hard to beat a team at this level 3 times. The one big thing that I will look forward to is how do they contain Joey Spallina? Because they contained him the last game that they played him. And then they got shocked, right? So, you have to do some things to stop that offense. Because I can tell you right now, Finn Thompson and him are a dangerous duo. Right? Take all my personal feelings aside here. They're a dangerous duo when they get going, especially with simple little things like a little bit of a slip cut, a little bit of a dive cut, like all those little things. Finn Thompson, if he has a great game, Syracuse could run away with this.
All right. When you look at the other matchups this weekend, Rick, which one stands out to you? What are you most looking forward to outside of Cuse, Carolina?
Who are the matchups? Give them to me. I didn't pull them up. I didn't have time. So I was on the phone.
You've got Penn State, Princeton, which I know a lot of people are interested in, given the fact that they played at the very beginning of the season.
Yep.
And Penn State beat them, and beat them pretty handily as well. I think a lot of
Hunter
people are pointing
Aquino's
to that
back,
game.
right? I know a lot about Penn State. The house I live in Darien, the pool house, is owned by a guy whose son plays defense at Penn State, Mark McNamara. So I hear a lot about the Penn State games, right? Because they're always going. The McNamaras are going on the weekends, and I'm like the house sitter, right? Hunter Aquino is an excellent player. Penn State runs a zone at times, and they're brutal. I will say this: I do have Princeton in my national championship game. I do. I think Princeton's excellent. I think they have a ton of great offense. They're really smart on defense, and they control the middle of the field. I think, like I said, that matchup's going to be a great one. They're both big and physical. Great defense, but it's going to be that one. I'm going to tell you, I could get thrown out of this house that I'm at, when I get back there tomorrow. But I think I got Princeton in that one for sure, winning by 2 goals actually.
All right, and then the other matchups, just to throw it out there for our listeners: Notre Dame, Hopkins, Duke, and Georgetown. When you look at the 8 teams that are left, Rick. Where does Syracuse kind of stack up for you in terms of likelihood of winning the national championship? Are they somewhere in the middle? Where would you kind of put Syracuse?
I would say they're a favorite. It's a 50-50 shot they win. Okay. Right? I mean, it's Syracuse is good, but so is the dark horse of it for me is Duke. Duke's the dark horse for me. They're so talented, you have to watch them. They beat a really, 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 really good Richmond team. And that was a back and forth game. Hopkins winning and beating Cornell, another Central New York team, was crazy. Duke scares me if I'm anybody, just like Virginia did. But then you also look at Georgetown. Georgetown mucked it up against Virginia, who's got so much talent. It could be anybody's year, but Syracuse, in my opinion, there's a 2-to-1 chance they're raising a trophy at the end of the year. And whether I want them, whether guys want them to or not, and people hate Syracuse because they're good or they're bad, whatever you want to do, I think Syracuse has a 50-50 shot of raising that trophy. And I think that was a lot better than what people were saying midseason. I think Syracuse is starting to hit its stride with all their players. You know what? Trimming back a few goals on defense can be as simple as holding the ball a little longer at this level. So maybe they do that. Maybe that's what their strategy is. But if they get past North Carolina, you might as well look the hell out, because Syracuse is coming down the tracks with a big orange choo-choo train. They're going to run over a lot of people.
And then lastly, you talk about anybody can win it. The parity of this game is certainly in a great spot. We saw this week that SMU's athletic director said that they're in the very early stages of potentially adding men's lacrosse.
I saw that.
Yeah. So what do you make of that decision, and I guess where the game of college lacrosse is right now when you hear that?
Well, first and foremost, Texas has been putting out some of the best players in America and some of the best teams in the country in high school for the last couple of years. There's a lot of former Syracuse guys down there in Texas. Chris Saran is the head coach at Dallas Jesuit, who just won a state championship. He's been there for 25 years, coaching and had a law practice. Dom Finn is in Austin. He's running a program called Iron Horse. They're huge, 600 kids. You have Mike Pressler at Lake Highland Prep. Not Lake Highland Prep, at Highland Park, where he's the head coach there, where that team's nationally ranked now as a public school. And, they're putting out great guys. I mean, it would be incredible if SMU were to go varsity. What was odd, I have two players that formerly played of mine in high schools, one at Darien and one at Bergen Catholic, that are on that team. And, what was odd with that announcement from the athletic director, I don't think people saw that their coach stepped down. So, weird happenings, right? You get the coach steps down, guy announces there might be going, you're hinting at it. Then the next thing is, what coach takes on that program, right? What coach do you bring in with a big enough name? And SMU, right? We're talking about Southern Miss, a team that's an oil town team. NIL money? Can you say that? Wow, they could get back into it. SMU, Ricky B is ready to be your head coach. Don't be scared. I can handle it. Let's go.
All right, what'd you have for lunch, Rick?
Oh, Paulie, you'd be disappointed in me. I'm down 15 pounds. I came here. I love my wife, Tori, dearly. She's the greatest. So beautiful still. But the fridge is really not stocked with things. But you know what I ate? Cold cut roll-ups. Come on, Rick. Come on, Tori, give me some food. But that's all I have is cold cut roll-ups, man. What?
Ham, roast beef, ham,
nope,
bologna,
it was salami and fresh mutts roll-ups, brother.
All right.
With a little balsamic glaze. And did you see Steve light up when I said balsamic glaze? Ooh. Steve 100% got the infantile.
You like balsamic? That's weird. I would have never taken you for any.
On mozzarella? Oh, it's very good.
Thank you, Steve.
Yeah,
with some salt on it, right, Steve?
I enjoy it too. Just Steve putting a condiment on anything is shocking to me.
Steve, are you a non-condiment gentleman?
For the most part, yes. For the most part. Yes.
Do you like ketchup?
No. I
really?
Honey mustard. Yeah, honey mustard.
He hates mayonnaise. That gets his arch enemy.
You look at him; it's got too much fat on it for him. The guy's skinny.
Yeah.
No, he's finicky.
So, Steve, let me ask you another question. This is I'm hoping you say no. But are you the type of guy that takes home the honey mustard packets from Tully's?
No, I don't.
We had that discussion the other day about people stealing from restaurants.
That's right, we did.
Do they really?
Yeah. No,
people
I don't
steal
do
those things?
Yeah, of course they do.
They take sugar packets. They take jelly, butter.
Yeah,
I will admit it. When I was living in New Jersey with just Angela, and I would forget Sweet and Low, and I was making coffee at home, I would literally grab a handful of Sweet and Low at the thing at Dunkin' Donuts. I did it one time and replenished it. It's awful.
Yeah.
You know what I can guarantee you I have in one of my drawers right now?
Please don't tell us, Paulie.
And I've never, ever even tried it.
Oh.
Duck sauce.
What?
It comes in with Chinese food, and I don't think I've ever put it on my food.
You just save them?
No, yeah, I don't throw them out because what if the apocalypse happens?
You've never put duck sauce on like the little cracker noodles they give you? Like
no, it goes. I use soy sauce only. I've never tried it.
Soy sauce. You know, like I'm a big boneless barbecued spare rib guy. The best boneless barbecue spare ribs, they're obviously not, I don't have an idea with them, is Eastwalk right there on Thompson Road. It's excellent. I used to eat it all the time. But like you throw a little duck sauce on there, adds a little sweetness. It's pretty good, Paulie. Pretty good.
I'll try it. I'm not like opposed to try it. I've always been
apparently.
soy sauce. Yeah, I don't think Steve would try. Like if I brought in one and we cut the corner off.
Steve, on a hot dog, what do you eat a hot dog with?
He hates hot dogs.
I don't like hot dogs, but I would have mustard on it, and that's it.
Hold on.
Like a spicy
whoa.
or like a
Steve,
brown mustard. Yeah.
Are you a citizen?
Yeah.
Because
you want to hear
you don't like hot dogs?
Favorite food?
Please tell me you don't you like hamburgers.
No, I'll eat hamburgers. I don't like hot dogs.
Nothing on it?
On a hamburger?
Yeah.
Cheese.
No, but like ketchup, mustard?
Nah, just a plain cheeseburger.
Wow. So Steve, steak. What do you have on your steak? Talk to me.
I mean, I don't put
you're gonna
sauces
get mad.
on my...
No one does.
You go
ketchup,
Paulie?
No.
All right.
Medium rare, salt and pepper and garlic powder.
Do you know what's the most...
Steve, what temperature do you like your steak at, Steve?
Medium well. Medium well.
I mean, that depends. That's okay. But
no, it's not.
The best steak condiment is straight horseradish.
Oh, yeah. I will do that.
Just not the horseradish, like with the like just straight up.
Not the
gives
creamy,
a little burn in your schnoz. Don't have the one from Coleman's. That thing will make you choke.
Yeah, and he can't eat red sauce anymore because he's old, so he gets what he calls chicken infante.
Yeah,
he eats just a chicken cutlet with a piece of mozzarella on top of it.
It's like chicken parm with no red sauce. Yeah.
Have you ever, Steve?
You got to do what you got to do.
Have you ever had a sandwich go like a favorite downstate one is semolina bread, right? Which we don't have. We rarely have it up here. Semolina, a chicken cutlet, mutts, and then broccoli rabe on it, and a little bit of oil and vinegar.
Yeah, I mean, I would eat that.
That's delicious.
Yeah.
I wonder who makes that around here.
Good.
Probably no one.
Yeah. Well, if you find it, let me know.
I will. All right, boys. Thanks for the food talk and the lacrosse analyst. I appreciate it.
No problem.
All right, Rick. Be well. We'll talk soon.
Be guys good.
Joining
Big
us
game
here
tonight. FM CNS. Go CNS girls.
All right.
What do you think of a Paulie Rick cooking show? Q Sports Talk exclusive.
That would be Sean and Marley.
Sounds fun. What did he say?
Nothing.